Well, what do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? Looks like James Comey, the salt of the earth. James Comey, the honest, moral, wonderful compass, the moral compass of truth and excellence. James Comey. What's this? U.S. Attorney says report on possible link to James Comey is devastating. Former U.S. Attorney Brett Tolman on Friday said that the report on former FBI Director James Comey possibly illegally leaking secret information concerning a Russian document to the New York Times and the Washington Post is and it's a word actually, it's a word in the English language that because it's not YouTube policy friendly, I won't use, but let's just say provocative. It's a synonym for provocative and breathtaking. It connects some dots that have been frustrating to me, Tolman told Fox and Friends, recalling that his suspicions were raised for him when Comey broke Justice Department protocol in 2016 to hold a news conference to announce the FBI would not recommend charges against then-presidential candidate Hillary Clinton over her private email servers. Quote, it's this pattern, and McCabe was following the same Jim Comey playbook. Now that we see, and that is leak when it's necessary to try to justify what may ultimately be discovered as actions that you wouldn't want people to know about. The new review, which the Times downplayed as a possible politically motivated probe by the Trump administration, of course, concerns a Russian intelligence document, quote, claiming a tacit understanding between the Clinton campaign and the Obama Justice Department over the inquiry into whether she intentionally revealed classified information through her... Whoa, okay. Whether she intentionally revealed classified information through her use of a private email server, as the Post described in May 2017. Madam Secretary doesn't brush her teeth or say hello in the morning without a political motive, without a strategy. Okay, so this is pretty obvious. You use a private server, okay, because you're trying to hide information. It's not that difficult. If Trump deleted 30,000 emails, you better believe nobody would buy the excuse that it was for yoga. Okay, I mean, the press, oh my God, they would fat shame, they would do everything. They would have memes with him with, like, McDonald's cheeseburgers. Yeah, this person, yoga, okay, whatever. You know the way the left is. You know the way Democrats are. And the media is disingenuous, duplicitous. Anyway, Dutch intelligence accessed the document on Russian computers and provided it to the FBI. Wow. So Dutch intelligence is on the case, on the scene. Included in the document was a discussion between Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, then the chairwoman of the Democratic National Committee. Okay, and Democratic donors. Schultz told Bernardo in the document that then Attorney General Loretta Lynch would ensure Clinton was not prosecuted. Wow. Would ensure Clinton was not prosecuted in the email probe. Uh-oh. Look what we have here. Guess what? Clinton's deleted emails aren't deleted. They went to someplace. The people who have her emails, or the people who received those emails, have them. There's a record of them. The NSA almost certainly has all of them. The two have denied the conversation, citing, quote, people familiar with its contents. The Post reported in 2017 that the document, quote, has long been viewed within the FBI as unreliable and possibly fake. I mean, really? If it's anything to do with Clinton, it's unreliable and possibly fake. It's just gossip and hearsay and innuendo. She was using servers for yoga. Okay. And convenience. It is so convenient to have private servers and bang on cell phones with hammers and not tell the president. Notice how, like, factcheck.org isn't like, President Obama, he's not telling the truth. With Trump, it's like, we found, Washington Post with Trump, we found 5,675 lies. With President Obama, they're like, did you know about your own Secretary of State having email servers, multiple ones for 4 years? I found out from CNN. Oh, okay, we believe you. With Trump, it's like, we withheld military assistance. We wanted to make sure it went to the right people. You were worried about the No Malarkey bus tour. That's why. By the way, how about my Joe Frazier poster? Isn't that like an amazing I love Joe Frazier. Love Joe Frazier. Really, one of the few boxers to actually defeat Muhammad Ali at his prime. You could say, well, it wasn't really his prime, but the first Ali Frazier won, and he lost the next two. Ken Norton defeated Muhammad Ali, I think the greatest boxer of all time. I wrote an article that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the most dominant boxer of all time in the Huffington Post. But anyway, I love this. This picture of Joe Frazier. Love Joe Frazier. Anyway, the two have denied the conversation, citing, Tolman said the country put great trust in the leaders of the FBI and that it appears that under Comey and McCabe, there was a culture where some officials believed they were above the law. Yeah. So that's pretty much what took place. This is really interesting. Wall Street Journal, the Comey cover-up unravels. The FBI and Central Intelligence and the press all have much to be embarrassed about. Holman W. Jenkins Jr. So there was a document, isn't that interesting, talking about President Obama's Department of Justice and the FBI covering up Clinton's crimes. Gee, who has been saying this obsessively for every day for about 4 years? Oh, that's right, me, H.A. Badman. In a curious report on Thursday evening, the New York Times carefully averts its eyes from everything that's interesting. Even Adam Schiff has acknowledged that James Comey's actions in 2016 may represent the most important and significant Russian influence on the election. Hoist your shot glass. This will be the umpteenth time I quote Mr. Schiff on this matter in this column. Surely one of the most consequential pieces of intelligence ever received by U.S. agencies was, as we now learn, received in early 2016 from a Dutch counterpart. This is the dubious Russian intelligence that set off Mr. Comey's multiple interventions in the last presidential race, culminating in an improper act that may have inadvertently elected Donald Trump. Well, no, President Trump won because he had a message. And the Comey memo, the Comey letter was it was the biggest. Trump might not have won without the Comey letter. It's true. The Comey letter was actually the greatest interference. That was a cover-up of a cover-up. Comey exonerated Clinton, or didn't exonerate, excuse me. Comey covered up Clinton's actual crimes, numerous crimes, deleting 30,000 emails on private servers that had top-secret and special access program intelligence on them, illegally transferred. But Comey covered all of that up, and then, they found more classified emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop, which they had to use hazmat suits to touch because Lord knows what he was doing with them. Once they found the classified emails outside of the United States government, outside of Clinton's servers, on a laptop that Uma Abedin's husband was sending pictures of his private parts around the world, to an untold number of human beings. That was a security risk of the highest order. So then they said, we're going to sift through 500,000 emails, whatever. They didn't find out what was classified, what wasn't classified. They just said, we looked and everything's fine. They actually didn't say that there were classified emails. But she had classified emails outside the United States government. But here, again, on Uma Abedin's husband's laptop. Surely one of the most consequential pieces of intelligence ever received by the U.S. agencies was, as we now learn, received in early 2016 from a Dutch counterpart. This is the dubious Russian intelligence that set off Mr. Comey's multiple interventions in the last presidential race, culminating in an improper act that may have inadvertently elected Trump. Even at the time, Mr. Comey's FBI colleagues considered the intelligence which indicated questionable actions by the Justice Department to fix the Hillary email investigation to be false, possibly a Russian plan. Okay, the Times adds the unsurprising revelation that Mr. Comey himself is suspected in the illegal leak that in early 2017 alerted the media to this untold aspect of the 2016 actions before the matter disappeared again behind a veil of official secrecy. Yet bizarrely, the paper plays down its scoop, suggesting that any inquiry into a years-old leak now can only be a political hit job by an ambitious Justice Department Attorney General seeking to please President Trump. Okay. They found information that shows a cover-up. They hid the information. The information resurfaced again. Now the New York Times is saying, obviously William Barr is just trying to go after his political opponents. Meanwhile, they've gone after their political opponents, Trump, everyone, Manafort, Papadopoulos, Michael Flynn. They went after, these are their political opponents they went after with the most, these are a bunch of zealots, a bunch of people who are maniacal and rabid and trying to just destroy the lives of people around Trump and undermine Trump's administration at all costs. We found his tax returns. He worked with Russia. He withheld military assistance to Ukraine. All of it's nonsense. If anyone's exonerated, it's Trump. With Clinton, she actually committed all these crimes, top secret intelligence on servers, deleted emails without government oversight, all of these. Oh, but you know what? There's no suspicion. It's above board. Why? Because Attorney General Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton to speak about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. President Obama didn't know. And, you know, it's all about the Steele dossier with Trump, which was completely debunked, and a fantasy document based on Bill Clinton's wildest dreams. But here, first of all, I doubt this. This is the Wall Street Journal article. First of all, I doubt this subject pleases Mr. Trump. As a bonus, I'm going to suggest the FBI's own pursuit of the collusion. Okay, here. The media is a big part of the cover-up. When the Justice Department Inspector General issued his devastating report on Mr. Comey, not one media outlet told its readers about the existence of its classified appendix except this column in Britain's Daily Mail tabloid. Okay. Mr. Comey himself, after allegedly leaking the secret information to the press, penned a memoir suggesting the same info should remain hidden from the American public decades from now. And while flogging fake revelations from the non-existent Trump-Russia conspiracy, the mainstream media ignored a public plea uttered before Congress by the Justice Department's own Inspector General that the secret Comey information be declassified so people and their representatives can know the truth about 2016. On Thursday night, former Representative Trey Gowdy reported that the information Mr. Comey is suspected of leaking to the media he refused to share even with Congress in a classified saying it was top secret. Wow. The mainstream media has been uncharacteristically silent about all this for too long, and you're about to find out why. Whether from design or myopia, it allowed itself to be instrumental in suppressing real news in favor of a fairy tale about Mr. Trump and the Russians. That's the deeper message of the Times' weirdly conflicted handling of its scoop about Mr. Comey. Leaking secret intelligence. If that's what Mr. Comey did as a crime. By the way, the Comey memos were classified, and he put them in a safe. So they say, well, he didn't leak the classified information. Doesn't matter. It was in a safe in his home. So anyway. But even more that's a crime too. But the IG actually wanted to charge Comey, but he didn't. He didn't get charged. Okay. He will eventually. The information remains officially classified not to protect national security, but to protect the national security establishment from embarrassment. The story here truly contains something for everybody. If you think Mr. Trump never should have been president, blame Mr. Comey. If you think the deep state is running amok, here's your evidence. If you think the intelligence establishment is incompetent and need to Trumpian kick in the rear end, even more so. Also, every revelation about this matter turns out to be a revelation also about the deviousness and expediency of Mr. Comey, the nation's former FBI director. What should happen now? More than ever, Attorney General William Barr should act on the authority Mr. Trump has given him and declassify the Inspector General's report as well as any material describing the role of other agencies in Mr. Comey's election meddling escapades. So Comey got caught with his pants down as always. And he wants you to believe that he's fully clothed. And it's actually your fault for looking. James Comey reportedly faces another Justice Department investigation. James Comey is here. The DOJ is investigating a years-old leak. It's just a year old. That's the best line from Democrats. Oh, we're really going to go with an old story? It's like if it's not in their mind every day, then it doesn't exist. He committed crimes. And so there you go. Now, this is a classified document pertaining to the email server cover-up. Okay, The Hill. So William Barr, this is the thing. If you work for the United States government, currently you have more power and influence than people who used to work for the United States government. It's like being the general manager of a team today as opposed to another person who was the general manager of a football team 10 years ago or 3 years ago or 2 years ago. You get to make decisions today. So you can look and, decide to cut players or sign new players or whatever. The United States government is like a giant aircraft carrier. If you replace all the sailors and the captain, well, you have essentially a new aircraft carrier. You have a new vessel. William Barr is running the show now. It's not Attorney General Loretta Lynch or Eric Holder. Not James Comey. It might be Christopher Wray. It might be people who just don't want to really, change the paradigm. But if they're forced to, they will because they work for the government. John Durham and William Barr are going to indict many people, but it's going to be after the election. Trump's going to win again, and that's why they're fighting tooth and nail. The impeachment is not about what Trump did wrong. The impeachment is about what they did wrong. Justice Department officials are investigating classified Russian intelligence document leak and whether former FBI Director James Comey was the person who illegally provided reporters with the information. The probe is the second time federal officials have looked into Comey regarding leaked information. So, the document that was mentioned reportedly played a large role in Comey announcing in July 2016 the FBI's decision not to recommend charges. According to the Times sources, the investigation began. Okay, so there you go. Then you have, after Trump demanded it, but President Obama never demanded that his DOJ utilize start an investigation based on a document that Clinton purchased. Give me your thoughts below. Comey illegally leaked information, and that information is exactly why he covered up Clinton's crimes. Give me your thoughts. This is huge news. Give me your thoughts. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now.